My name is Hilary Inyang. I am the Vice Chancellor of the Botswana International University of Science and Technology here in Palape. Well, I can say that all tertiary institutions in Botswana are important. No gainsaying that, but BIUST was set up specially by the government of Botswana to help in the economic diversification drive. So while some other institutions play certain roles, the role of BIUST has to go beyond that. Some universities in Botswana are comprehensive. They support the general education needs of Botswana, while we are supposed to be very specialized in the area of science and technology, as mandated in our mission statement as well as our Establishment Act. So this is why we see ourselves as being very special and focused on research. Although other schools will do some research, but we have the exclusive focus on research. Well, as you know, Africa has suffered from lack of industrialization for so many years. We are actually behind many of the other countries in Asia, South America, some of which had independence at the same time as these African countries. So, knowing that science and technology constitute the engine of economic development, we cannot afford to play second fiddle to other regions of the world. So science and technology is very important because they form the basis for creation of products and services, some of which can be exported to earn these countries revenue. Besides engagement in science and technology, which sometimes drive most of the industries, will help in employment. The economic development is necessary for the stability of countries. It is when revenue is low, there is joblessness, and there's general disorganization in the country, then social unrest, as we've seen in Africa, can topple even governments. So economic development is very important, and science and technology constitute the engine for such things. Botswana itself has determined that it is very important that we have the economic diversification drive, because we are now focused on natural resources exploitation and export. Well, natural resources are not there forever. At some point in the future, diamond resources will go down. It is projected that perhaps that will happen within the next 30 years. The question is, what after that? So the need now is for hulking up the skills development level of Botswana so that we can then transform into services and other industrial sectors that will enable the country to be sustainable economically, even after there is depletion in natural resources. Another thing to note, why science and technology is so important, is that whenever you have a small-sized country in a region where you have big-sized countries, economic development that rides on science and technology becomes the harmonizer. It equilibrates opportunities. For example, Singapore is a small country in the neighborhood of China, but it has done so well because it's done well in science and tech. We know of Mauritius in Africa. Mauritius is not too far away from South Africa, but it has one of the best economies in Africa. And it has some of the big universities in Africa. They are doing very well, their schools, and they are doing well in science and tech. The University of Mauritius does well. So Botswana has to follow that. We are in the neighborhood of South Africa, a much bigger economy. As a result of that, we need to be very nimble and innovative. It is not possible to have both circumstances unless there is focus in science and tech. And this is why BIUST is trying to play that role for Botswana. Well, BIUST graduates will be known by what they do, basically what they can do. There has been discussion in Botswana, I've seen it in the newspapers, I've seen it on television, where people say that they want employment-ready graduates. We have to be very careful about the definition of employment-ready graduates, in quotes. Employment-ready graduates means much. It's very good to have that, provided the capacity of graduates to analyze, to communicate, to have all the skills that are needed to succeed. Not graduates that are just trained to operate this machine or that machine. They should have the capacity to analyze circumstances. Those are the kinds of people that run economies. We are not training people to be able to operate that kind of machine and be a pipe bender here and all that. There is necessity for that too, as every country needs a pyramidal system in which you have those kinds of technicians that are very familiar with some machines. Some need to be mathematical modelers, system modelers. Some need to be evaluators. Some need to be inventors. So you have a whole skill set that ranges from the technical level to the highly scientific level. We are not interested in cutting off the scientific level. Otherwise, where will the conception of the models and the industrial setups and all the technical, theoretical background to drive those inventions come from? So we should not be overly excited about denigrating theory. Theory is important as well, but we should not only do theory. We should also expose our students and graduates to the practicalities of their environment. So what I mean by that is, what are the biggest problems in the area of science and technology in Botswana? So every BIUST graduate or student should be able to know that and communicate that, analyze that. We have indigenous knowledge systems. We are in a part of the world that is subjected to drought very often. We have problems in provision of energy, but we have sunlight. We have agriculture. Most of Africa and even Botswana is still agrarian, even though we are now trying to diversify that into value addedness in agriculture, ICT, and so forth. So the first step for a BIUST student is to appreciate the circumstances of his or her environment and then begin to think of how they can be a part of the solution to those challenges. We are not just going to be like every other school. There would be no United States strength. The stealth, the wealth, and the health of the United States depend all on the strength of its academic institutions. MIT, Harvard, my former school, University of Massachusetts, University of North Carolina. So we have to cultivate that level of intellect that goes deep without denigrating or somewhat ignoring the realities of our environment. This is what we will do. What about the configuration of BIUST to do this? We are configured in three prongs. We have the administration, we have the academic affairs. This is where you have the BIUST colleges in key areas that are important to the economy of Botswana and beyond. And then we have the Office of Research and Development, that sector that deals with research, enterprise, entrepreneurship, technology, innovative things that will be done, patents and so forth, and help to many parastatals and agencies in Botswana, the SADC region in Africa, and so forth. And we are doing this at various jurisdictional levels. We want somebody at the cattle post to benefit from us, and we are creating programs now for that purpose. We want somebody at the district level to have some impact from us. We have the national focus, we have the SADC focus, and go beyond, because we are an international university. This is what we are doing. We are getting very good response from many sectors in Botswana. The chief executives of all the major companies, they have had talks with me and my people. Besides, we are also going on to the high schools and meeting with them to extract talent. We are bringing back lots of people who were sent overseas by Botswana to train. We've already brought back 5 of them, and we'll bring back as many as 45 of them over the next 5 years. We know where they are, we've catalogued them, we've contacted them. So yes, we have to be a university that satisfies our mission, the mission and the aspirations of the people of Botswana. Yes, we have at least 25 international partnerships. Since I arrived here about 8 months ago, and we brought the provost and many others who are active with us, we have struck up partnerships with many institutions in South Africa, because South Africa is a regional hub, and they have many very good agencies in mining, in microelectronics, in energy systems. We've signed agreements with them. We have also signed agreements with institutions in Nigeria, because there are so many of them there, and some of them have already established some levels of expertise. We've signed a very active agreement with Akita University in Japan. We have signed an agreement with China University of Mining, Science and Technology, where I have been a professor for about 15 years now myself. We've signed agreements with universities in Korea, in Brazil, and many other places. So this is the nature of international universities. We'll continue to do so, and these agreements focus on research, exchange of students, exchange of faculty, proposal development for projects, and things of that nature that will promote our image and produce substantive results that we target. Well, the last words I have to say is that people have to have a lot of confidence in Botswana. It is not like when you have a small country, they cannot aspire to great things. Yes, science and technology is not an area that is exclusive to Western countries. I have seen some very good Botswana students, and they will do well. They do well with us, they do well with others. We are looking for collaborators. We are not going to be an ivory tower university. We must have impact in our immediate community and beyond. Besides, education is very important. We want many people from Botswana to go beyond the bachelors. That has been a problem here. But I am very impressed that following our advertisement, we have had at least 1,000 Botswana apply to come and do masters and PhD here. We hope that the government will also continue the support that we are given now and speed up processes, not use processes as constraints. We are happy at the level of their support, the level of support given to us by our council, led by Mr. Tumelo, who has been an excellent leader of our council, and also the former president, Mr. Mohai, who is an excellent and intelligent man whose aspirations and whose advice and determination were instrumental to the starting of this university. So we are in Botswana to improve circumstances, and I'm very sure that within the next 5 years, things will be very different in Botswana, and we'll make our own contributions in collaboration with other agencies to the economic growth and the general well-being of the people of Botswana. Thank you.